Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. They only got 3 to me before, there's a technically 11 o'clock cutoff, so they only got 3 ready, so we're only gonna do 3 today.
Okay, good.
I think Brown is the one that's gonna go tomorrow, I guess.
Okay.
Can you hear us in the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see, I'll start with the people of the state of Michigan versus Erica Van Buren. Counsel appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. George and Ed, APD, on behalf of Erica Van Buren for purposes of arraignment only today.
You're Erica Van Buren.
Yes, I am.
Okay, today was the date that was scheduled for arraignment. I have here a felony complaint. The allegations are that on or about November 1st, 2025 at 400 South Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you did allegedly in count 1 commit the act of assault with a dangerous weapon, that's also called felonious assault, that you did make an assault upon a Marquita Nicole Calvert with a dangerous weapon, that being with pliers, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm, lest than the crime of murder, and this is contrary to MCL 750.82. Count one is a felony. The maximum penalty is 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon your arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Count two is police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, alleging that on or about November 1st, 2025 at 400 South Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Armando Pellegrino, a police officer with the Lansing Police Department, that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his duties, and that this action was contrary to MCL 750.81D. That is a felony. Maximum penalty is 2 years and or $2,000 in fines. Again, a consecutive sentence may be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Ms. Van Buren, do you understand the charges that was just read and the maximum penalty attached to both?
Yeah, I
Do you
do.
understand the? Okay. You have the right to be represented by counsel. Mr. Annette is going to represent you today for the purposes only of your arraignment. But you do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all of your court appearances. You have the right also to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
I do.
Okay, is she requesting the public defender's office?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent, ma'am. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty or you can stand mute. By standing mute, this matter will continue all the way to a jury trial. You are being charged here with the felony or with 2 felonies. So you have the right to have a preliminary examination, and you have the right to have that preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date being the date that you are arraigned, unless you waive that 21 days or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. At the time of your preliminary examination, you have the right to require the prosecutor establish that they have sufficient probable cause that the felonies that you've been charged with were in fact committed, and probable cause sufficient to charge you as the individual who allegedly committed those felonies. Do you understand that?
I do.
You're currently scheduled for a probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward. Is going to be on November 14th at 8:30 in the morning. You have the option of appearing in person, or you can appear via Zoom, and you should have received Zoom instructions. You have excuse me?
I got that on the desk right now.
Very good. You also have a preliminary examination before Judge Ward that's scheduled for November 21st at 8:30. You must appear in person for that date, okay?
Good.
You have the right to the presumption that you are innocent. So you're innocent until proven guilty, and you can maintain your innocence and take this matter to trial. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove each element of each of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you, or you can waive silence and testify on your own behalf. You also have the right to subpoena witnesses that will testify on your behalf at trial. Do you have questions about any of those rights at this time?
The
court's going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Are you currently employed?
No, I get SSI.
What's your home address?
Well, I said it was 430 North Large. That's my original address.
430 North Larch, you said?
Yes.
Do you have a phone?
No, I don't.
What about an email address?
I don't have that either. I was gonna get a phone tomorrow and all that because I have money in that right now. But I have no way to do that if I'm gonna be in jail. So I was hoping to bring that get out today. And I will come to my court date because I know I have to do that. And I have a man that will help me.
Excuse me?
I have a boyfriend that would help me make sure I go. Because he's very level-headed.
Oh, okay. You can address bond counsel.
Yeah, I'd ask the court to consider a PR bond. As Miss Van Buren states, she has somebody that can bring her to court. There's no indication that she's ever missed court. This is a mere allegation. It's my understanding, in consultation with Miss Van Buren this morning, she didn't think she was going to have a felonious assault on her allegations. That was a surprise to her. She gets Social Security, so I mean, really, even a minimum amount will be a difficulty. I'd at least give Miss Van Buren the opportunity to show the court that she will come to court and she's not a flight risk or a danger to the community, Your Honor. She also has 2 children that live with her stepdad that she checks in every once in a while on. I'd ask the court to consider all those and when addressing bond. Thank you.
Not only that, my dad's got cancer too, so.
I'm looking at your criminal history. You've been charged with an assaultive crime 9 times. 9. Multiple of those have convictions. There's nothing but assaultive charges on her criminal history. There's nothing else.
Why can't I get this for self-defense? I mean, the girl came at me first.
Hey, Ms. Van Buren, don't speak, please.
I think I've already advised you of your right to remain silent because this is a recorded proceeding. So everything you say can and will be used against you. You're being charged here with assault with a dangerous weapon. That dangerous weapon, I believe, was a pair of pliers, I believe. And I don't have any record from the prosecutor's office to tell me anything about Ms. Van Buren's past attendance records and whether or not she attends court or not. But what I do have is someone who's been charged at least 9 times with 9 different assaultive crimes and multiple of those having convictions. So that's disturbing in and of itself. I will grant a personal recognizance bond. However, it will be with GPS tether.
That's fine.
Well, I know it's fine because I said so.
Okay.
So bond is going to be 5,000 personal recognizance with GPS tether. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Marquita Calvert. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever she is. I am going to order victim notification. Also, while out on bond, you are not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. So that weapon of any kind is very broad. You understand that?
Yes.
So hypothetically speaking, you couldn't use, hardware like pliers as a weapon either. You recognize that? Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. You not to use drugs or alcohol. And you need to appear for all of your court dates. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions? Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Yeah, can you remind me of the preliminary examination date one more time?
The 21st of November before Judge Ward.
Thank you. Nothing further.
No problem. I think it's at 8:30. It's at 8:30. You're all set, ma'am.
So I get out today, pretty much.
That's what personal recognizance means.
Thank you.
People of the state of Michigan versus Kevin Terrell Grayson, counsel appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. George at APD on behalf of Kevin Grayson for purpose of adjournment only today.
You're Kevin Grayson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Grayson, I do have a felony complaint here that I'm going to arraign you on. The allegations state that on or about November 2nd, 2025 at 611 Sadie Court, Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you allegedly in count 1 committed the act of assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation, and that you did make an assault upon a Kenesha Cheyenne Blair by strangulation or suffocation, and that this was contrary to MCL 750.84. Count 1's a felony, maximum penalty 10 years in prison or $5,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Count 2, domestic violence, alleges that on or about November 2nd, 2025 at 611 Sadie Court, Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon a Kenesha Cheyenne Blair, an individual with whom the defendant had a dating relationship, and that this is contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Count 2 is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There is, however, an habitual offender second offense notice. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of a felony or attempt to commit a felony, and that on or about January 13th, 2020, he was convicted of the offense of possession of a controlled substance in violation of MCL 333.74032A5 in the 29th Circuit Court for Clinton County, Michigan. Therefore, the defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.10. That makes your penalty 1 1/2 times the maximum sentence on the primary offense or a lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term on the first conviction. Do you understand the charges, the penalties attached, and the habitual offender second offense notice, which does enhance your possible sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to counsel. Mr. Annett is representing you today for the purposes only of your arraignment. You have the right to have an attorney with you if you're questioned by law enforcement, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court dates. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at no expense to you. Do you understand that right to counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You can plead guilty, you can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will continue all the way to a jury trial. You have in count one a felony, so you have the right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond that 21-day timeline. You're currently scheduled before me to have a probable cause conference November 13th at 8:30 in the morning. You may appear via Zoom or in person for the probable cause conference. You have a preliminary examination before me in person November 20th at 8:30. You must appear in person. You should have received a notice to appear and Zoom instructions. Can you confirm that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have the right to require the prosecutor at the time of your preliminary examination establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a felony was committed and then probable cause sufficient to charge you as the individual who committed that felony. If this matter proceeds beyond the preliminary examination, and that's likely, you have a count two as well, which is a misdemeanor. You have the right in both matters to the presumption of innocence and the right to take these matters to trial and have the prosecutor prove each element of each of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question in court any witness called to testify against you, the right to call your own witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to remain silent, not have silence be used against you, or you can waive silence and testify on your own behalf. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Let's see. Are you currently on probation or on parole?
Yes, I'm on federal probation.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, I just recently started working for Profile Metal in Potterville.
Profile Metal?
Yes,
What do you do there?
we make metal cones.
Okay. What's your home address?
610 BLUFF Street, Bluff Street.
That's in Lansing?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your phone number?
517-643-5259.
Does he have a parole hold at this time?
Yeah, I do not know the answer to that.
Or a probation hold? From federal probation, is that correct?
Correct. Does the jail know whether he has a hold or not? Mr. Grayson, did they say anything? Maybe I didn't hear them.
Oh, no, they said, no, they do not. I don't
Okay.
know if am I able to speak?
Do you know if you have a hold? I think that's the only question we have.
Oh, yeah, that's all I was gonna say. They don't do federal probation holds.
Okay.
You can address, bond.
I'd ask the court to consider a PR bond in this matter. These are allegations that Mr. Grayson concedes to be false. He has no assaultive criminal history. I believe he did have, obviously, the reason why he's on federal probation or parole or whatever you call it. He reports no assaultive history whatsoever. These are mere allegations. Not to get into too much of our Mr. Grayson's offense, but he'll show up to court. He's gainfully employed. He lives in Lansing. I'd give Mr. Bluff, or sorry, he lives on Bluff Street, 610 Bluff Street. I'd ask Mr. if Mr. Grayson can get an opportunity to show the court that he's not a flight risk, Your Honor, and a danger to the community.
Okay, yeah. Your client has a bit of an extensive history already. I say already because he's quite young, but he has a bit of an extensive history. And although he does not have any assaultive convictions, Mr. Grayson was just in court for a felony unlawful imprisonment, interfering with a crime report, or committing a crime to threaten to kill or injure, also interfering with the electronic communications in a domestic violence. Like he literally was like a month ago was in court for this. And here we are with a assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation, and another domestic violence, to which the allegations include him allegedly strangling someone he's in a dating relationship with, that she could be heard screaming for help by a neighbor. The neighbor was the one who contacted the police. And there was injuries noted that were consistent with the report that was given, including redness around her neck and a bite mark, which the alleged victim stated that as she was trying to get loose from his hold, allegedly, that he bit her. And the officers noted that they could see the bite mark on the left side of her neck near her ear and redness around her neck. He's not getting a PR bond for me because based on the allegations and based on the nature of his criminal history, which includes cases that were recently dismissed for one reason or the other, there seems to be some risk. The other issue is he is also on probation. And when you're under court supervision, whether it's federal or state, and you pick up a new case, you're not a good candidate for a PR bond anyway. So your bond in this matter will be set at $10,000 cash or surety with GPS tether and victim notification. While out on bond, you have the following conditions. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with a Kenesha Blair. Let me also be even more clear, because that also applies to while you're in the custody, because even if you can't post the bond immediately, you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Kenesha Blair. That means no phone calls from the jail. That means no phone calls when you are released. There's no text messages. Don't try to use another inmate's number to contact her. You can't write any letters. You can't slide in her DMs. You can't go drive by her house. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Do you have any questions about this so far?
No, ma'am.
You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of this court. You're not to use drugs or alcohol. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release from custody. And you need to report to all of your future court dates. You should have received notices to appear and my Zoom instructions. Do you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set. State of Michigan versus Alberto Stanford Jr. Parents, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. George Annette, APD on behalf of Alva Stanford for purposes of arraignment only today.
Okay, Mr. Stanford.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, you have a felony complaint here that alleges that on or about, let's see, November 2nd, 2025, at 329 South Washington Square, Lansing, Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Mark Fox, a police officer of the Lansing Police Department that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his duties, and that this is contrary to MCL 750.81 D1. Count one is a felony with a maximum penalty of 2 years and or $2,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, you have the right to counsel. Mr. Annette is going to represent you to be arraigned. But you have the right to request counsel to represent you if you can't afford to hire an attorney, as you are only being represented today to be arraigned. But you have the right to have an attorney with you at all of your court dates and if you are questioned by law enforcement. Do you have any questions about your right to counsel?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, is he requesting the public defender to represent him?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, and you do have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. And so your not guilty plea will enter at this time, and your request for the court-appointed counsel will be entered. You have the right in this matter to proceed to a preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date, and the right to have the prosecutor establish that they have probable cause sufficient to charge you as the individual who committed count one, police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and enough evidence that felony was in fact committed. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan on November 13th at 9:30. You can appear via Zoom or in person for that. You have a preliminary examination that you must appear for in person before Judge Buchanan on November 20th at 9:30. Did you receive notice to appear for that?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You have the right to, the presumption that you're innocent until proven guilty, the right to take this matter to jury trial, and require the prosecutor prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you, the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you, the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, or you can waive your silence and testify at your own trial. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
I will reiterate your right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You can plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. And if you stand mute, this matter will continue all the way to a jury trial. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
Yes, ma'am, I am on probation.
You're on probation out of the 56th Circuit Court.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I just did an onboarding for a job that I'm supposed to start either this week or next week.
You just did onboarding where?
I just did onboarding for the job that I just got.
What job is that?
That's Wing Snobs on Cedar in Lansing, Michigan.
What's your home address?
1217 Mary Avenue, apartment 7.
You said Barry?
Mary?
Oh, Mary, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Apartment 7?
1217. Yes, ma'am. 1217 apartment 7.
That's in
Zip code
Lansing?
489. Yes, ma'am. Zip code 48910.
What's your phone number?
It is 517-343-0767.
517-313?
343
343, what happened? What's the other four?
0767.
Okay, thank you. Where is the 56th Circuit Court?
That's on Kalamazoo, if I'm not mistaken, ma'am.
Okay, so you are on probation out of Kalamazoo.
That's the street that the court is on.
Excuse me?
That's I think that's 30th Circuit Court. That's on Kalamazoo.
No, 30th Circuit Court is on Kalamazoo. I know that, but I asked you about 56th Circuit Court because that would be who you're on probation for. It says 56th Circuit Court for you pled guilty to a felony police officer assaulting, resisting, another count of felony police officer assaulting, resisting, and domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am. That would. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're not on probation out of 30th Circuit unless they transferred it here, but it doesn't say that.
Yes, ma'am. They did. They transferred it here. I see one PO officer, not two.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's Eaton County. Okay, let's see. Counsel, you can address bond.
Yeah, I understand the court can may be concerned that because Mr. Stanford is on probation, I'd ask the court to consider a PR round, however, just so Mr. Stanford can be released and go to work. He did just do it onboarding yesterday with Blinkstop. He does have a job. He was, I believe, I pulled up an old intake. I think at one point he was homeless. So the fact that he has a stable address and is working or is about to start working, I think is very important for somebody who is on probation, needs to pay fines and costs and things of that nature. Mr. Stanford has PO. There's no failure to appear. There's no warrant for his failure to appear. He's showing up on time. I believe, based on our conversation this morning in regards to the RNO, I believe there's an intent element that's going to be missing that Mr. Stanford has affirmative defense on. I think the situation started where he called the police and things kind of went the way they went. I do ask for a PR bond just so Mr. Stanford can remain on his feet like he is doing right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm familiar with or at least what was alleged in the affidavit of probable cause. Mr. Stanford, it is concerning that in the last 2 years, you've had so many interactions with law enforcement and really for the same exact charges. Because twice in 2023, you were convicted of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and domestic violence on 2 separate dates. The incidents allegedly occurred, that you pled guilty for, and then now you're being charged with the new case. So I recognize the importance of someone being on probation having the ability to pay their fines and costs, but it's even more important that someone on probation stay out of trouble. I am going to
Yes.
grant the request for personal recognizance bond at this time, just due to the circumstances. Your bond is going to be set at 1,000 personal recognizance. You need to report to all of your court dates. You should have received your notice to appear before Judge Buchanan, correct?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You also are not allowed to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, okay?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel? You're muted, Mr. Annette.
All right. No, Your Honor, nothing further. Is that it for today?
That's all I have.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day as well. You too.